Hello everyone, and welcome to my tier ranking of the racetracks from Mario Kart 64. I went ahead and I arranged these in sequence of the cups, of the circuits, so everything's in order. So let's go ahead and get started with it, shall we? The first track, Luigi Raceway, this is probably going to cause a lot of people to X out of this video immediately, but I'm just spitting some truth here. This one is a turd. It's just nothing. It's a boring place, there's nothing to look at, there's nothing memorable. Most of the time when I'm ranking the first level of any given N64 game, it usually lands in C tier, because they're just trying to get you acclimated to the game and to the controls. Luigi Raceway, even though it accomplishes that, at the end of the day, it's just a boring race. I feel like I'm only driving like 7 miles an hour when I'm playing it, and you're given that theme, that tune, that you hear at just about every one of the stadium levels in this game. The So that's just another knock against it. Look, if you like Luigi Raceway, if you like playing it with your buds, that's all well and good. I'm happy you like it, but for me, there's just nothing here. Alright, next is the Moo Moo Farm. Now this one's a couple notches up from Luigi Raceway. I'm hitting Moo Moo Farm with C tier because now we have some identity going on. We have cows, we have gophers, we have lush green hills, we have a unique track that's very farmy sounding. It's just a cute little place. Simple, still simple, but the kart does some bumps and hops along the way. The terrain is kind of uneven, but just that coupled with it having an identity and a strong theme, that's what brings it up a couple notches from Luigi Raceway for me. Koopa Troopa Beach, well, who doesn't love going to the beach? This one I'm throwing into A tier. Just being at a beach-themed level, I really enjoy. And the unique music track that plays here, it's all tropical and shit. I like that too. It just feels good to have a race here. And I think the layout of this track is really good too. I love it that there's the ramp that goes through the cave as a major shortcut. So, you know, a beach could be pretty bland, but they have some features on this one to bring it to life a little bit and give it some identity. Next is the Calamari Desert. I'm going to throw this one in C tier because this is a very bland map, and that's a sin that a few of these tracks commit. I'd say what keeps it in C tier is it's memorable, it's got a strong striking identity to it, it's got the train. It's not a bad track, it's not awful, but it doesn't do anything great either. Toad's Turnpike, for me, this is a B tier. Well, the most noteworthy thing about Toad's Turnpike is the traffic. It's everywhere. It is so easy to get hit by trucks, cars, and buses at this one. The challenge factor really goes up a notch from the Mushroom Cup into the Flower Cup. This is the first race of the Flower Cup circuit. And right out the gate, you know right away, like, okay, we're not in the kiddie pool anymore. Shit's getting real. A lot of people probably refer to Toad's Turnpike as Toad's Turdpike because it is a very frustrating level. However, I do like the challenge, I do like the aesthetic and the theme. I like what time of day they set this one to. It looks like it's late evening, like 8 or 9 o'clock in the summer, and the music track I think is unique too. It's not an exceptional level, but I think it does a lot of things right, and definitely is deserving of B tier, in my book. Frappy Snowland, okay, I wouldn't call this crappy frappy. I'd say this is pretty standard. I'll give it right in the middle of C tier because it's right on par, just like Moo Moo Farm and Calamari Desert. You know, Moo Moo Farm, we got the striking farm theme, very identifiable. Calamari Desert, striking desert theme, very identifiable. Frappy Snowland, well, it's a lot of snow. And there's some snowmen and there's some more snow. Doesn't do much else that's exceptional, but it doesn't do anything that makes me hate it either. Choco Mountain, I'm putting this one in D. It looks like you're just driving around in a big turd bowl. The only color that you can see throughout this entire track is brown. Just shades of shitty brown. Now, the track itself is kind of unique. It's very bumpy and jumpy. very narrow, it's windy, it's got boulders that fall from the top of a mountain to try to crush you. So in that regard, it's not bad, but this is probably my least favorite looking racetrack, with the exception of one other that I've yet to rank on this list that I think looks even worse, maybe. Mario Raceway. Okay, well here's another one that I'm gonna say this one is C tier, but at the back. It's got the same sort of theme as Luigi Raceway in that it's a stadium in broad daylight. There's an audience in the stands watching you. It uses that repetitive track that I get so sick and tired of hearing. So it's not bad, but again, it's not very memorable to me. I think Mario and Luigi just should have had better tracks. Okay, Wario Stadium. There was a time when I would have said this is easily my favorite racetrack in the game. That has changed a little bit. There's other tracks that I do like more, but Wario Stadium is still an A-tier track to me. It's got that amazing jump where you can really sabotage other racers and cause them to fall down into the pit. You all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, just having that implemented within this track puts it a whole grade higher than where it would be. But again, we're given the theme. I mean, this is Wario. This is Wario's place. Why can't we be given a different musical theme that's more in tune with who he is as a character? I think it should have a more shitty mustache-twirling soundtrack, but it's not. Look, I'm not going to pick on this one too much because if you'll notice, it's an A tier, which means I think it's exceptional. It's so much fun to play this one with friends. I think the layout of the track is one of the best in the game. It's just straight up good stuff. And it's very nostalgic and memorable to me. Sherbet Land, I don't know where people would put this one on their tier list, but if there is one track that I can see having the widest range in grading, it would probably be this one. What I mean by that is I can see people throwing this one in D and F tier, but I'm someone that's going to throw this one in A tier, and I'm even going to put it above Wario Stadium. This is not a snow level. This is an ice level. You're slipping and sliding all over the place, crashing into penguins, getting pissed off. For some reason on Sherbet Land, it feels like your car's going at an even more accelerated rate. Even though I think your car goes at the Even though your cart goes at the same speed, I think, at every level, there are some tracks that make it feel like you're moving faster, and there's some that make it feel like you're moving slower. I think when racetracks are very wide in their roads, it actually makes it feel like you're going slower. But when the tracks are more narrow, it probably feels like you're going faster because the walls and objects on the side of the road are going right past the camera, which probably gives the illusion that you're going faster. But hey, even if you're being manipulated into think you're going faster, if it makes the game more fun, then that's what I prefer. I'm not going to argue with you if you have this one low, but I'm putting this one high. I really dig it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first S tier in Royal Raceway. Yes, it's another stadium, and yes, we have the playing yet again, but it's just a testament to how good the racetrack is that the music track doesn't do enough to pull it out of S tier. It's not a bad music track, it's just overused. Royal Raceway, what's cool about it? Well, let's talk about that big fucking jump. Okay? You get a boost, and then another boost, and you're flying through the air, and you bounce super hard. And then you go right past Peach's castle, which is just sort of subtly sitting in the background. It doesn't even draw much attention to itself, but you can drive over there, and I love that. It's a challenging track. It's got winds and turns and curves where you could easily go tumbling into a pond. It's very clutch, man. It's very competitive. I just like it. I just like the layout of it. I think Royal Raceway is excellent. Bowser's Castle. Okay, we probably have the most striking themed racetrack in Bowser's Castle. The aesthetic here is incredible. It's like a haunted castle in lava. What's not to love about that? This one is A tier. It can be a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, a challenge is a good thing. You know, I think once you get your bearings on this game and you know how to control that cart right, It's not such a problem in its difficulty that it would pull it down on a tier list. I think this one's just really good. The track layout's good. The whomps or the thwomps that slide back and forth in those rooms, I always get them mixed up. I never know which is which. Even if I looked up which one a whoomp is and which one a thwomp is, I still forget immediately after which one is which. But whatever, you know, the blue one that slides back and forth and gets in your way, laughing with that stupid look on its face. It's a good one. DK's Jungle Parkway. This one is not as good as I remembered it. It's feeling like a C tier to me. I'm probably gonna have it toward the back of C because like 60% of this track just all looks the same. It has a really cool jump at the beginning where you jump over a river and there's even a boat in the river, and that's pretty cool, especially when the boat's right underneath you when you're making the jump. But what I don't like about it is when you land, you're pretty much at a dead stop, and then you just have to sharply turn the car and then get your acceleration up again. I don't like that. But at the end of the day, it's still in a on par tier. It's still a fun track to play. I just think there's a lot of missed opportunity with this one, and I much prefer DK's Jungle Racetrack in Double Dash. You can take a guess as to where that one's going to grade when I do that tier list. Yoshi Valley, very unique. I love it that this one does not display to you who's in what place. It just shows you question marks. I don't know if the devs implemented that because with all the different routes you can take, if the game really doesn't know who's in what place at certain times. This one is challenging. It's very easy to fall off the track and down into the valley. I like the big giant Yoshi egg that's just sort of rolling around and crushing racers. So for this one, it wins a lot of points in my book. I'm gonna give it... I'm gonna give it the middle of A tier. Yep, okay, moving on. Banshee Boardwalk. Just off this picture, it looks like it's one of the coolest tracks in the entire game, but it's very deceptive. This track is dog crap. The only thing Banshee Boardwalk has going for it is that it is challenging, but I'd call it more annoying than I would challenging. Of all the tracks on this tier ranking board, this one feels like it was the most tacked on last minute. Like, oh my god! The game is due to come out in 3 days, and you guys haven't finished making all the tracks yet? Oh, no, shit, well, we gotta come up with something real quick. Just put a black background, and just fucking, what textures do we have left? Oh, well, we have some wood. Well, fucking make it into a road, and make it zigzag around. What else do we do with it? Oh, fuck, I don't know. Just make an empty building and put some fucking bats in it. Whoa, well, that's not enough. People are gonna know that we fucked up. Well, shit, I don't know what else to tell you. Just have some ghostly fucking images of characters occasionally fly around in the sky. Oh, should we put some stars in the sky or a moon or something maybe to give it somewhat of an identity? Fucking no! Well, this game's coming out tomorrow. Just get it done. Export, export, export. That's what this fucking place feels like. Just lazy, just shit out in a fucking 3-hour workday. Like, they just didn't put any... Like, what the fuck, dude? This is supposed to be a spooky level of horror, and it's the dookie level of dog shit. I mean, I know there's levels in this game that are kind of bland, but this one fucked it up. Fuck this. It's F. Yeah, even behind Luigi Shitway. Alright. Rainbow Road. Now, right out the gate, Rainbow Road is doing something Banshee Boardwalk couldn't. Yes, yet again, we have a black backdrop. But it's amazing how far some white dots in the sky can go. And while there are several reasons that Rainbow Road deserves to be high up on a tier list, there is one distinct reason why it's going to land in S tier. I'll give you a moment to think about what that reason is. The motherfucking music. The music track in Rainbow Road is one of the best fucking tracks on the entire console of the Nintendo 64. I mean, you are just falling down a fucking portal of nostalgia euphoria listening to this track. And it goes with the level so well anyway. The track layout, this is kind of like the kindergarten version of Rainbow Road because you're given bumpers on the side. just like a kid would be at a bowling alley with the bumpers up. You can't fall off. I would kind of prefer it that there weren't any bumpers on it, but I'm still putting Rainbow Road in S tier. It just brings back all the happy, fuzzy, jolly good feelings of childhood that stay with me to this day. And just for the record, all 16 of these racetracks are fun. The ones in the lower tiers, even the lowest tier, are still fun. I would have a good time playing Banshee, Boardwalk, Luigi Raceway, any of them. So please let me know your thoughts, and if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you watching. And wherever you are, whatever time it is, thanks for being here.